By watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There is significant financial risk associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Look, man, we got a big week, so we're going to just hop right into things. And let's just go right into options flow from Friday. From Friday, the top call options flow went into NVIDIA, AMD, Amazon, Apple, and CRWV, CoreWeave. On the put side, we had the top put options flow went into Tesla, Netflix, Oracle, UUUU, and Gold. On the For the week, top call options flow was in Apple, CoreWeave, Nvidia, Amazon, and AMD. Shout out to Meta. And on the put side, it was Netflix, Gold, SMH, Tesla, and silver. Okay. Interesting. When they start shorting the gold and the silver, that means the market is going higher. So, okay, let's just go right into things. And again, all right. So, all right. I'm not going to go too much through these slides because, we just now started. We're heading into a new month at the end of the week. So, the last time this slide was updated was October 15th. At that time, we already cleared 56K for the year. So $56,000 for the year per single option. So that means if you grab just one contract per trade alert for every trade that was alerted this year, net profits, you made a lot of money this year, right? So that's where we are. And I'm not going to go through all of these slides, but like I said, we've been killing it all year. And you can go through these slides later, or you can go through them later. Since they didn't update since last week's meeting, you can go back and watch that one and see these. So let's just hop right into things. All right, market talk. So over the weekend now, right? So I know you guys see how the futures are looking right now. Everything is running like a bat out of hell, but that's because, look, we talked about this on Friday, though, that one of the main reasons the market ran back in, was it April? And April was when Trump and China came to made a deal. And well, technically, it was just like they put a deadline on the tariffs and the market ran like a bat out of hell. But then when talks started to collapse again, the market dropped. So like I told the team, I said, well, the one thing that's been really consistent and dictating the market movement is these China talks. And we know that Trump has a meeting scheduled this week in and South Korea with President Xi, right? So that's pretty bullish. But over the weekend, we got announcements, some information that came out that Chinese and U.S. officials tentatively agreed to avert 100% tariffs. And so it looked like the talks are going good. And Trump said that a major deal was signed with Malaysia, and they're near completion of many other nations. And he said he still looked like he's going to meet with Xi this week. That's what Trump said. He said suggests that he'll still meet with him. Let me see. He'll meet with him in China and in the U.S. So there'll be multiple meetings. So that's why the market is running right now in the Asian futures market. Just for everyone who doesn't know. And so, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Look, let's hop into a few things. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and get economic data out of the way because it's not too much economic data, but we do got FOMC this week, and we have a lot of earnings, right? So we got so of course FOMC falls on the same day as Meta earnings. I mean, when does that not happen, right? So we got a Fed decision. Now we just had a CPI. The government is still shut down, so we have limited economic data. But they gave us a CPI report on Friday, and it was cooler than expected. So we'll see what Powell has to say, and if we'll see what they have to say as far as more rate cuts. The market wants more rate cuts. Well, Trump want more rate cuts too. So, and we'll see if we get more rate cuts at the next week FOMC meeting on Wednesday. Remember, it's a 2-day meeting, and where all of the Fed presidents and governors get together and they discuss whether they're going to do rate cuts or hikes or just leave everything the same. We know that the last meeting, and it was basically insinuated that we would probably get another rate cut. And Powell likes to set us up without surprises. So most likely that's what we'll get. The market's pricing it in anyway. And as far as economic data this week, we have the house price index on Tuesday. We have Richmond Fed manufacturing index Tuesday. We have pending home sales Wednesday and Chicago PMI Wednesday. I'm sorry, Friday. Let me just say. All right, so let me just go here. So we're gonna go into some of these earnings that we have this upcoming week because there's so many of them, and this is the biggest to me personally. They say the week of Nvidia earnings is the biggest week of earnings season and most important, but this week is always the most important to me because it's had 30% of the S&P 500 is reporting this week. So it's hard to say that anything else would be more important than 30% of the S&P 500 reporting earnings. So that's just how I feel, me personally. But who am I, right? But just one second, because I want to make sure that I. All right, I am back. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I put this information out accordingly. But yeah, we got a lot to cover. It's a lot going on. So it's like I said, 30% of the S&P 500 is reporting this week. So it's different than just having earnings. We just it's a lot. So it's so much to cover. It's so much going on and what you don't want is to miss out on things and with so many earnings there are more. I feel like there some earnings are more important than others. So I try to make sure that the ones that I am watching are, I just don't want to leave out the anything that's important. So yeah, so I would just say let's just go. We're gonna go straight to Wednesday actually. So let's go straight to Wednesday because Wednesday we have a really big the most important. Well, some of the Wednesday and Thursday, some of the biggest stocks on the planet are reporting Wednesday and Thursday. We got Meta, Microsoft and Google Alphabet the same day, right? So we got them the same day, and then we got on Thursday they have Amazon and Apple reporting. Now, shout out to Coin. Now, the reason I mention those because, especially the first the five that I mentioned, because for a while they moved either just Apple to the next week or Apple and Amazon moved to the next week. They took them off the same week with Meta, Microsoft, and Apple. I'm sorry, Google. So they put them all back. So I just feel like they did that for a reason. They put them all back for a reason. What's the reason? Why would they put them all back? Now, typically, what I've noticed, because I like to pay attention to patterns, when they move Apple to the next week, they're so Apple is technically, I guess, Apple, Nvidia, biggest stocks on the planet. But right, Alphabet was the biggest stock on the planet for a while, and they go back and forth. But the thing is, when they move them to a different week, something goes wrong this week or goes right this week, and then the next week kind of flips the switch. So they put them all back on the same week. So I wonder if I don't know. We're at all-time highs now. The market's running again at all-time highs. I showed my team a chart on Friday of SPY and SPX and how it had finally broken out of a a wedge, a flag, and we were getting a candle confirmation on the weekly over that flag. So that, that was basically telling us that there was, a continuation coming. And then now we got this news over the weekend. Now earnings can continue it to go up. When we get to that chart, we'll go deeper into that. But like, we just need to pay attention to that. Those things are important right now. So again, it's a lot going on and it's a lot to watch out for, but we will see. And yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on earnings because I wanted to make this a short, quick meeting because I wanted to make sure we had one. So I'm going to jump back over to our, I'm going to go over to charts actually, go straight to charts. Let's jump right into it. Okay. All right. So these charts, man, we have a lot of charts. And all right, since I got QQQ up, we might just maybe, hey, let's go right straight to QQQ. But like I said, these things, it's a little weird, man, because these stocks are already up so much right now. So you see this, um, look at this bull flag, man. So we got the breakout and we got that continuation and we got the candle confirmation over the breakout here too. So and right now, and so what I'll say is let's just do it like this. For QQQ, if we can clear now, let's say we open over this 618.43 or just a 42, clear it, because what's happening right now, you can't really pay attention to it because it's a lot that's happening now that may not be happening later, so I don't want to spend too much time on looking at it like, okay, this is what's going to happen because because the stocks are already up, right? The all of that can change. But over 618.42, my first target on this one would be 624. I'll say 622, 624. But right now I'm gonna say 624. That would be my first target, 624.5, and then 628. Then I'll give it 630. I'm not going to put any targets above 630 for right now. All right. Because again, we're in uncharted territory. This is we haven't been here before, stocks at all ETFs at all-time highs. So I just want to make sure that I give you guys some targets, We gotta have some targets, man. We gotta have some targets. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Mhm. Maybe there. Cool. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change that up. I'm gonna put my first target for QQQ at 619. 619. 75. Maybe, yeah, 75, something like that. It's hard to place right away. 675. And I'm gonna say, because I want to be realistic, realistic, and I don't want to have anyone in a trick bag following my levels, right? And I'm gonna give y'all maybe one more, two more targets. To 26 is a good target. Uh, so like the 26, 5, and one more. Yeah, this market it's been going, man. It's been going. Saying at 30, I said at 31. Did I say 30? 31.5. Cool. Because we're in uncharted territory. So we up there. Now listen, if price breaks down and we lose that 615, I'm gonna just say 615, we lose 615, it's probably gonna fill the gap, but it may not fill the gap fully. It may bounce off of the previous highs. It may come back down there, bounce off of like that 613, I'm sorry, that 612, that 612, 72 or somewhere, and just give it some margin. And then from there, then we have the gap fill here. Now, most likely it'll probably bounce off of there though. So I'm just gonna say that I'll think it'll probably come down from there. But if it does, it'll fill that gap here at 611.37. So let's move on. Let's move right along. All right. I hope my levels come up, man, because I got some levels on some of these charts, man. See, it's a daily chart. And I have them on the weekly. Yeah, all my levels aren't here, man. All right, so we're not going to use this chart. Use a different chart. So I have levels, man. I have a lot of levels. I want my levels. All right, get SPX off of here. Put Jack up here. You got to have a clean chart, man, or you're going to go insane. And I've been trading for a long time, so I got levels for years on a lot of these charts. All right, so look at this bearish flag right here that we have on deck. You know, deck reported last week, and it was just a lot going on with the stock, man. And the guidance wasn't as good as they wanted it to be because it wasn't because of Uggs. It was some other shoes and some other things that it was Uggs put the numbers up like they thought they would. But anyhow, if we lose this, and this is a weekly chart because you know, I wanted to show you how to weekly zoom out when in doubt, zoom out. If we lose that 86, 86, 83, my first target on here would be that 85.01, and then we got 80, 82, and then we got 74.90. Okay, so we're gonna keep that on watch. Now, it could bounce right here because I'm gonna show y'all this level. You see here, this is like a key area here. Last time, a few times before, it bounced down here. Now it may come down here to this level here at this 80. That's a solid bounce off of that 80. That seems like more of a reasonable place where it would stop if it doesn't, but it could bounce here. We've been lost the 200 EMA, and look at this. So the 50, that's not the 50, that's the 21. Let me get that off of here. It's too much going on, but it's cool. It's cool for now. It's cool. Forget I said that. But yeah, so we got it came up here, rejected off of the 200 EMA, 200 moving average, and then flushed down. So, and we finished with a bearish engulfing. Is that a bear? Is it bearish engulfing? Yeah, it's a bearish engulfing. So we got a 213 bearish engulfing right here on the weekly. So we'll see what happens on increasing volume now. But like I said, watch this level because they saved it here and it might get saved here again. But that's still a nice move down if it was to fall. So keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. All right. Now it's a few stocks that I'm just gonna cover because uh, I'm covering these stocks because my team suggested them. So I'm going into the chat right now and looking at these suggestions that they gave me. Let me see. I got a few. All right, I'm gonna start with, I think it was, who gave me the first one? I think it was James. James gave me the IBM. IBM. Okay, let me go check out IBM. IBM. And you know, this chart was interesting, man, because at earnings, right after the print, the stock dropped and then they bought it right back up. See, my thing, you know how I feel about all-time highs, man. So stock is at all-time highs. And again, there's nothing wrong. Yeah, almost everything, a lot of stocks are at all-time highs right now. So we just gonna have to deal with it, right? If we're gonna be trading in this market, then we're gonna have to deal with these all-time highs. And you can't be scared of them. Can't be afraid of the all-time highs. So, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a few levels on this one. I feel like yeah, it finished at a nice level. Look at it. It held most of its gains, and you know, we got like a small wick up there, so it sustained most of its gains heading into the close. After I'm talking about Friday. So this is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna put my first level here up at 11:55. I got you. Always got to get you some margin, man. I'm struggling over here with these and I'm gonna put 11, sorry, I said 11, yeah, 11:55. So 1981, 19 give it some levels because man, the way this stock finished and how it looks, man, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. So I ain't gonna take nothing from it. That 300 up here. There we go. It's a lot that can happen with this stock, man. We just gotta just try to put some areas here that could possibly be hit if we, get some movement on the stock. My cursor is acting up. Got too much going on this machine. All right. All right, I'll put you right there. All right, cool. So like I said, man, so yeah, this was a nice 222 reversal here on the daily. It's stacked over all of its EMAs with increasing volume, really substantial volume. Over 310.75. My first target on here would be that 311, that 311.50. Then we got 319.87 and so on. Now, the thing is, it would be a long way down for the trigger for puts. So what you can do, there's a few ways that you could play this, but just if we were to lose, if we were to get all the way back down there to like 282.21 and we lose that level, then we'll probably retest 273.41. And then if we, I just feel like we'll probably save it up in here, but you got to be careful with these type of stocks because I mean, I'm gonna tell you, not even just these type of, yeah, these type of stocks, but just in this type of market because a lot of stuff that was oversold just was getting bought up because of we're in a bull market, but it's just a lot of stocks like these are not particularly IBM, but when stocks were they were heavily bought, just bought up. Those they, this candle right here isn't all institutional buying. There's a lot of retail in there too, when people who are just buying for the, along for the ride. So these stocks fall hard. They fall hard. So keep it on watch. But I'm saying if we did drop down, we would probably retest 273.41. Then we got that 264, and then we got the 200 EMA down there. So just keep an eye on it. But right now the market is bullish and everything is running. So hey, um, what else they had for me? What else they had for me? Right, right. Stocks at team for me. Cool. KK had Goldman Sachs. See, look, the team know what stocks to hit. They already know the stocks. See, that's why. And one thing, KK, she gonna stick to the rivers and lakes that we used to. She not trying to reinvent the wheel. These stocks that we trade all the time. And this one, I like this. I didn't even look at the chart. I didn't even look at the chart, but I like it. I like a nice bullish flag breakout, on a 222 reversal. Well, 212 reversal. That's nice, nice, nice. Stacked over all of its EMAs with that candle confirmation. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So I'll say over 784.61. My first target. Nah, we're gonna get this one some margin. Yeah, so over 764. I'm sorry, 784.61. First target would be 786.52. And I got it just like how I got it, man. I don't play no games over there. This is a bullish flag breakout on increasing volume. So my next target after that is 800. We going straight up there to the 800, So yeah, you just gotta everything. Like I said, just because the target gets broken and a continuation happens, that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. You have to look at the ATR on stocks and see how reasonably, like if you're going on a trip to to Florida from, I don't know, somewhere, right? You're not gonna expect you may not or if you're going to Miami, if you're in like Daytona or something like that, you can get there quickly. But if you're in Virginia, you're not gonna get there as quickly. So that GPS is gonna recalculate based on how fast you're going, how long the trip is, and things of that sort. So same thing with this. These stocks have ATRs, average true ranges, how many dollars they move in a day on average. So you have to think about those things when you are buying these plays. So if you're buying buying an you're playing options. Let's because options expire, stocks don't expire. You have to think, give yourself the edge on these plays. How long is it may will it take you to get there? Now it all depends on a lot of factors. And then that gamma is going to play a role in that, if when and under those circumstances, but you just don't want to. I'm just gonna he said if it break this level, it's gonna go here, and he ain't put no levels in between, it's going straight here. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen this week. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen in one day. So you gotta, just consider those things when you are trading. That's my target. So if I trade it, I'm gonna trade it accordingly, and my team are gonna trade it accordingly. So yes, just keep that in mind for people that are just watching and keeping an eye on things. Now, if we lose 750, I'm sorry, 756, my first target on this would be the gap fill down here at 750 755. Yeah, so 755. No, I'm sorry. 750, 78. And then my next target after that would be 746, 75. So yeah, keep Goldman on watch. Right. Cache said Google. All right, I gotcha. I gotcha. All right, here go Google. So Google had a bullish flag breakout too with a continuation, and then we got some consolidation, and it broke out again. So up here, we're sitting up here at all-time highs. A lot of these stocks are going into the prints at all-time highs. I mean, look, man, I'm one of those. I've been a cynical um, trader. And what I mean, not a scared trader or nothing like that, because a lot of times I anticipate stuff and be right, but I miss a lot of moves too because I'm thinking the market makers out here playing tricks on us, and let me plan for this because they're doing this. I mean, I'll be right a lot of times, but I'm just saying. So a lot of moves, I follow the price action, let the price tell me what to do. I tried to trust my bets one time. I mean, recently, I say, you know what, they're gonna do the right thing, and they didn't. So, I don't mind being cynical and standing behind it. So, here's Google. Here's some levels for Google. I'm gonna put this 260 up here after. So, yeah, so for Google, I'm gonna say over this 261. Damn, Google was at 261.68. So at over 261.68, my first price target on this, I'm gonna put the 264.50. Then we got 267, 270. Now if we lose this 255.32, first target on here, we're gonna put that 252.60 area. We got a few things that we could possibly hit down up in here. Now, Google, like I said, Google is known to be a slow moving stock, but lately it's been on a tear. So just keep an eye on that. And it moves with it's in the communication sector. It's still in the tech sector, but it's a part of the comm sector with Meta, Apple, and Netflix, those stocks. So a lot of times they move together, specifically Meta and Alphabet. Well, Google Alphabet is Google and Alphabet are the same for people that don't know. So yeah, so just keep those on watch, and because they kind of. But the thing is, look, this is the thing. They put Google and Meta. I don't like when they do weird stuff like this. I ain't gonna go on a rant for too long, but they've been doing a lot of weird stuff lately, and I don't really like when they do stuff that's kind of it's counterproductive for me. And so Google and Microsoft typically are on the same day. And we kind of get to trade Meta twice because what would happen is so whatever, when Google would print first and whatever happens, we would see a big move in Meta based off of what happens with Google, especially if it's something regarding ads, ad revenue, or stuff like that, things that can directly be affect Meta because they're in the same industry. But obviously the cloud, the Google, they got their different things that could kind of affect Amazon, so and Microsoft. But yeah, so they report, all of them are reporting the same day, so literally basically around the same time, that night. So it's just they're up to something, man. That's just all I got to say, man. I don't know what yet. I haven't quite figured it out yet, and but something's going on, and we're about to figure it out. We're about to find out. So let them prop this market up as far as they need to prop it up right now. So between earnings and the Fed, something is not happening, or maybe the first set of stocks. I don't know. I don't even want to get to speculating right now. I'll talk to my team about that later. But yeah. So keep Google on watch also. Um, okay, Daquan said Netflix. All right, let me pull up Netflix. All right, yeah. So Netflix, man, Netflix. Look, y'all, if y'all watched the meeting last week, I told y'all what I thought about Netflix, and I told y'all how I felt, as far as that move that they had priced in for it, and also, yeah. So and I kind of talked to my team more about it. I anticipated I was looking more forward to the downside for Netflix, and we kind of got that. Um, right now, so Netflix, it's a few things that can happen with this because it's cooling off. It's been running for a while. It's been running for a while. So, and for a good reason though, for a good reason. It's a lot of reason for Netflix to have been running the way it has been running, but you look how far it's run though. It's just been running for quite some time. So, like I said, these stocks get to cool off, and there's nothing wrong with a stock like this cooling off. We just want to be, that's why you gotta be careful sometimes when you trading stuff like this. But right, we closed under the 200 EMA. Nice flush with a 222 continuation. Went up, retested the 200 EMA and then flushed down. Nice close. I mean, but the volume was starting to come down some. I guess maybe is getting exhausted. If I zoom out and show y'all this weekly chart, you see what I'm saying? Look like it probably come down here and stop. Could stop where it is now. But even if the market runs a little bit or whatever, stocks like this that are already in route, they'll probably continue to do what they're doing. So yeah, so with this one, just keep an eye on it. I'll say if it was to lose this 1094.41, the next target on this would be that 1082 108,255, right? And then we got this 106,531. Now, if we find a way to clear 11, 11, 14, 51, then we can probably retest. Well, I'll just give it some shorter targets. I ain't trying to go too far on Netflix right now because, like I said, it's just right now where it is and what happened with it. It needed to cool off. But yeah, so if we ever to clear that level, then we could probably make a move back up to 1127.09 and then probably 1147.69, something like that. So just keep Netflix on watch. I think it looks good. I think it looks good. Uh, Juice said AMD. All right. AMD, another stock. Oh, damn. I didn't even notice that it closed like this on Friday. Nice. Told you a lot of these stocks are at all-time highs, man. So, nice breakout. You see that little consolidation it had right there for a while on the uptrend channel. I like when you get a nice breakout of an uptrend channel like that. Look cool, look good, and like a nice retest on stuff like that. So right now, what I say for AMD, because like I said, we're at all-time highs, but that doesn't seem to matter in this situation. Man, let me tell y'all something while I'm while I'm bringing this up. Trump is very, very aware of how the stock market works. That's one of the like his strong suits. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised by all of these, like the randomness of these, the some of the moves that happen pre-market and things of that sort, everything that's going on right now. So, yeah, I just think there'll be more. So I'm saying this to say that I would not be surprised if the market keeps going up. You know, like I said, we just following the price action. We're not trying to get, when the music stopped, had the rug pulled on us, but I'm gonna follow whatever the market gives me every day. Whatever the market gives us every day. But I'm saying like he's very aware of what's going on. And I feel like a lot of this, of course, is intentional, some of the headlines that we get at specific times and it's all calculated. So just don't I don't believe that it's a possibility it's not done. That's all I'm gonna say. But we just got to see. Earnings gonna play a part. And again, we're not. Some of these trades aren't long term trades. They're short. They're just trades for right now. So we'll see exactly how things play out. But just saying, just don't be surprised if this isn't it. If it's not it. If it's not done. But anyhow, yeah, I like the AMD chart here too. So over 253.39. First target on this would be that 257.56, and we got 262.81 and so on. If we lose that 241.95, first target on this would be 238.10. And then we got a gap fill down here at 234.99. But yeah, keep AMD on watch. AMD on watch. Meta platforms, meta platforms, meta platforms, meta platforms, meta platforms. So yeah, so Meta's been selling off for a while now. Meta's been selling off. It's been pulling back. It's starting to reclaim some of its it's getting gain a little traction here, heading into the print. I'm just gonna tell y'all I'm bullish on Meta. I feel like it's sold off quite a bit, and this stock is very valuable. And so yeah, I just feel like that we should like the plan with my team, the plan was for we've been planning it all last week to swing calls over the weekend for Meta because the IV is going to be double by tomorrow. Or I'll say up, it'll probably be up another 20%. The Vega exposure is which is gonna double it. And so yeah, that's going to be expensive. Now we weren't even thinking about swinging through earnings or anything like that. We were looking to play and not just to make an IV move. Just get into those calls, or get into them early, and we can sell them off the IV and elevated Vega and make money like that. So while the suckers are buying at inflated prices, we just gonna sell them, but you never know what's going to happen, with right now. But, we had until Wednesday to do so because, that the print is until Wednesday. And now we don't have to worry about Google interfering because Google reports the same day. That used to be the only problem because Google would report on Tuesday. And so if they had a bad print, it would affect the meta calls or anything, just so that if you're playing a run up move or something like that. But yeah, Meta finished like this, 222 reversal, but with a hammer. It's stacked right over his 50-day EMA, the non-EMA, looking good right there. Just for a regular trade, over 741.21. My target on this would be 747.57. Then we got 753.90 and so on. If we lose that 731.15, my first target on this would be my first target. If we lose that seven, yeah. So my first target on this would be I said yeah, 731.15. My first target on this one would be 725.97. Then we got 712.71. So yeah, but keep this on watch. I think Meta is set up so nicely. Now, I can't say how it's going to be set up Wednesday heading into the print. But if they had earnings tomorrow, I would be bullish on Meta. Now, look, I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm saying. It's Sunday night at 10 p.m. right now. 10, 11 p.m. I'm saying this right now. And right now, I'm just saying that if it was, if they had it, if they print it tomorrow, if the print was tomorrow, I think it's set up nicely. I could definitely see a nice, and I don't think it's too much priced into the stock right now. If the earnings were tomorrow, I can see this making a nice substantial move, making it. I don't see a $50 move being too much for Meta to make. I don't think that's too overboard. I think that it could do that if that was the case. Now I'm gonna tell you, are there going to be some factors? Because Mark Zuckerberg he been firing people and spending more money that and poaching all of Apple's top AI developers and stuff like that. So it's been a lot going on. Mark Zuck is on one. So we know that we Mark Zuckerberg is spending money. So and what typically I'm just gonna let y'all know because I've been a Meta bull for a long time, but I'm not a stupid bull. I pay attention to everything. And when David Weiner was the CFO of Meta, this for the two for the second half of the year he would guide down, and so then he would guide down, and then so they would re-rate the earnings. The analysts would re-rate their earnings expectations and estimates and lower the expectations, and then Meta will come and blast through them, right? So, but you find that out during the earnings calls or when they about when what they're going to do. So now Susan Lee, she's the CFO. She's been the CFO for a few years now, and we're going to see what she does this time, because so we've had her do that a few times, but then sometimes she hasn't done it. We'll see what happens because if you can do whatever they can beat, they can have all of the, blast through all of the daily active people as they're calling them now. It's in I feel like in almost in every household, most households all over the world, that somebody has a Meta account with something, right? So just a few things to consider though, because the CapEx spend is going to be important. Meta's spending a lot of money, and then they'll tell us one thing, and then but Mark is really honest though. He'll tell you straight up, like, okay, I ain't gonna lie, we gonna have to spend this much. I know we said we were gonna only spend this, but we're gonna spend this. But then Threads hit a new milestone. It's the it has more daily active users than X now, so and that's interesting. But so we're gonna see what's the monetization plans. Have they figured anything else? And now I feel like now they're revamping Facebook now. So people was Facebook was starting to be played out or whatever. Now they revamping Facebook, and now they started trying to incentivize people to use that. How they did Threads, how they did Instagram, and they got people doing that now. So it's now people on there for different reasons. So I want to hear what they have to say about that now, and how that's ramped up the daily active people for Facebook again, because it hit its highest level or number in history last quarter. So we'll just see what happens. So it's a lot of catalysts for a continuation, but the tariffs have been up and down, up and down, up and down. And so it's a lot going on. We want to see, but and I can't say Google going to tell us first because they report the same night. So, we'll just have to see. So it's just if I'm just saying if the guide is good, not God. I mean, if God is good, but I'm saying if if guidance is good for Meta, and we beat EPA, I'll say this, we can even miss EPS, but we can't miss revenue. And the guide we got up, and the capex spend is okay. Now I want y'all to pay attention to what Meta does with the reality labs, because reality labs is where like the metaverse and all of that is done under that particular umbrella. Then we got the family of apps. We want to see how that spin is under the reality labs. And now that they're hiring all of them people and they fired certain people, they're trying to keep that EPS under under wraps or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But it's a lot to consider with the Meta print. It's not just that the stock looked good. It's been coming down for like from what was this high right here? since September 19th, or nah, so we hit this a few times, but I'm saying since September 19th, it came up again. And it's been coming down. It's been in a downtrend for most of this month. You know what I mean? But yeah, then it just started coming back up. So we got this is a bear flag though. This is a bear flag. Bear flags are made to be broken. If the earnings come in, it's because it doesn't. This chart doesn't matter at all. If that earnings come in and they blast through everything, and then Zuck get on that call and start zuckering, you know what I'm saying? So so it's just going to be what it's going to be. We're going to see the day of the print though. Like I said, if the earnings were tomorrow, I could see easily a $50 move. So I would, if the earnings were tomorrow, I would be playing it and I would be bullish, you know. But it's no way to see how that's going to be now. And but yeah, so I don't even, and I'm just, it's up in the air. I don't even know if I'm playing meta earnings. So I can't even call it right now. Everything in this market is case by case and day by day. Depending on how much it run or move before the print, that's when I'll make my determination. If it was tomorrow, like I said, I'd be cool with that. But right now, I could just go off of that. And yeah, so that's what I have to say about meta. Let me go on over here to Apple. Apple, man. I just don't like stocks that's, like I just Apple came and ran, because of that iPhone. First time they had like some hardware change in a while, and people going crazy about the phone. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on the iPhone. I'm an Apple guy forever. But just I'm just saying it just kind of cool off a little bit, man. It finished with a 222 reversal on Friday. That's a 212 reversal, sorry. And it looks good. Price looks good on there. Um, for this one, they report on Thursday. So I just don't really I don't have an opinion on Apple earnings, to be honest, because I just really don't have an opinion on it because the stock ran a lot since that phone came out, and so they need to come out and they got to blow it away. They have to blow it away. Now, everybody love Apple. People like the Jim Cramer say buy it, don't trade it, right? So a lot of people be out here, buying it. They're not looking to trade it. So if it does pull back, the thing about Apple, if you can't really, it's hard to play Apple for earnings because if it does come down, they're gonna buy the dip on it because they want Apple. People want Apple. So you'll likely get, clapped if that does happen. Now, every now and then Apple comes out and does something magnificent, but I feel like, they said this earn is going to be good because this is the first time in a long time that the iPhone was sold out or on back order where a lot of people aren't able to get it right now. So, and so that's a good thing for, when they have that high demand on a stock like that, it's for the consumer, it's an issue, but it's high demand. They want it. Everybody want it. But yeah, so if you're looking to just trade it, I say just for over 264.13. The first target on this would be 264.61. Then, we got that high at 265.29. Then we got 267.60 and so on. If we lose that 259.18, first target on this would be, I'll say the gap fill. We got a gap fill down there, but then we also have that 259.02. Hold up, what I say gap fill? Yeah, the gap fill. Nah, so it would be past the gap fill. My bad. So 259 under 259.18. I'm just going to say under 259. Under 259, my first target on this would be, and it's probably going to bounce at 259 because that's that breakout point. I would think it would bounce there. So, but if not, 257.69 is my first target. Then we got 255.85. Yeah, keep Apple on watch. And yeah, I just feel like this is going to be a really big, important week. And I just don't want nobody to get caught out there because there's going to be so much going on. Like I said, the president's going to Asia to meet with President Xi. We got all of these earnings. We got FOMC. So we got Powell, Trump, and the Mag 7 out there. So keep your heads on the swivel, and team, I'll see y'all later. Cheers.